Welcome back to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. He is David Fleetwood. He co-chaired the mayor's Community Police Relations and Reform Committee. They kicked out some recommendations this week. This I find very interesting, David Fleetwood, looking into sending mental health professionals on 911 calls. The devil there, I'm guessing, is in the details of determining just what the call is about and who do we need to send there? Cops, mental health professionals, or who?
Yes, that basically we've had some incidents, not too in the distant past here, where the community felt like there were individuals that their behavior was caused by mental deficiencies or mental disorders, and if we just would have had someone there that knew how to talk that person down or those individuals down, we'd have had a different result.
And I remember covering some of those tragic cases. Your committee's letter to the mayor seemed to indicate that there were warring factions within the committee, that police seemed at times maybe even hostile to any feedback that they didn't agree with, which raises the question to people like me, well, if we can't even talk about this stuff, how do we ever get to meaningful reforms?
That's absolutely correct. You know, just like I said, and that's the old Alcohol Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous saying, the first step to recovery is admittance. What we found in the meeting is the community has a lot of distrust with administration and police, and it's warranted by the things that they've been through. And then you got the police who feel like we're doing the best we can, we're doing what we're supposed to do, but if we just couldn't get folks to admit that, you know, things like, you know, we had different views on what the word racism means, you know, and so and I'm a firm believer you can't get to understand your enemy or your opposition until you can sit down and talk with them. And I've got to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I even though I think that I'm doing everything right, there are some biases that I have. And I've got to be able to look in the mirror and be truthful to myself. And once I can be truthful to myself, then I can empathize with the person that's sitting across the table from me, and we can start talking.
You know, some folks wanted a citizens review board complete with subpoena power. We're not getting that, or you're not recommending that. Are we still going to wipe officers' personnel files clean every couple of years as called for by their contract?
Well, I don't think we gained any ground that, you know, the community was all for. We want to know what they've done. We want it all to be revealed. But then, you know, the police, they have the unions and they have their rules too. And so their inner workings, and that was the problem. A lot of the community didn't understand the inner workings. I remember the old football strike years ago, and the attorney said one time when the owner said, we need to cut salaries because we're running out of money. And the player's attorney said, well, show us your books. If you show us your books and we see that you're out of money, we'll work with you. And so I think that's what the community is saying. If you have these problems, just full disclosure, come full disclosure and be transparent. And I don't think that went over too well.
Well, the committee's letter to the mayor also seems to indicate that that we need to have ongoing discussions. And David Fleetwood, you're making that point and making it very well today. Or we're just going to go down this road again at the end of the next crisis. And I thought the idea was to avoid crisis. But we are talking. A lot of folks, I'm sure, are going to be disappointed with where we are, that we didn't go further on this committee. But even having the discussion is that first step. And David Fleetwood and Pete Silverman, Anita Madison led this committee and has us talking. So let's keep the conversations going. I know we will do that here on Leading Edge. In the meantime, my thanks to you, David Fleetwood, for what you've been doing and continue to do in our community. Continued success, and thanks for joining us here on Leading Edge.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you for all that you do.
And you be well. I'll be right back.